coaches, and now they meet as head coach for the respective schools. Glad to be playing basketball. It's been a long time, Sarah, and good to be with you as well. And got some fans, and we're playing some hoops.
Well, it's an exciting time. It's definitely different, but these players are adapting quite well as they're playing in front of fans, but not the usual number they're used to.
It's going to start with a zone here from EKU.
You see the Louisville starting lineups, a lot of new names. You've got 2 freshmen and the Junior College Player of the Year in the starting lineup, along with Dana Evans, the 2020 preseason ACC Player of the Year.
It seems like Dana just started playing yesterday. We've done this for about 5 years, Sarah, and now she's winning all the honors and is the leader of the team, obviously. Just underway here in the Yum Center. Long 3-ball doesn't go, tipped around, and a nice rebound pulled down by Kendall Wingler, a freshman from Brandenburg, Kentucky, not too far from here.
And then Evans not able to get that fast break opportunity to go, but she is such a tough defender. And we see Eastern Kentucky pushing it, but coming away empty.
Well, we always have been able to watch the Cardinals courtside in the Yum Center, and you're right, Sarah. They'll get it up and down the floor. That's a 3-ball deep in the corner, and that's one of the top recruits for Jeff Walz, starting already as a freshman.
Well, Haley Van Lee making Eastern Kentucky pay, but that was set up beautifully by the point guard Dana Evans, penetrating deep and then pitching out to the corner for the 3.
There's a starting 5 for EKU, 3 freshmen and a couple of international players. Here's a long 3-ball, comes up short off the left wing. That was Bass that couldn't get it to go, and the Cardinals will get it. And of course, when we've watched Louisville and have been a part of it, they'd like to get it and go. And speaking of getting and go, Jeff Walz says, I got to go play somebody. Have bus will travel. He went inside opponents.
Yeah, when you can't get the opponents via text message, you resort to Twitter and say, hey, if you're within a 5-6 hour bus ride, I'll come play you. Unfortunately, they came up empty-handed, but I love his marketing efforts to find a game.
He is really serious about it, and of course, it's a great opportunity, and we have to thank the people at the University of Louisville, the Yum Center, the University of Louisville Hospital, as Coach Walz is not too worried about that right now, but they've done a great job making it all happen. Vince Tyree, Kenny Klein, all the people. It's been good for the tournament, the Wade Houston Tip-Off Classic, but also for the Cardinal Opener. We may not have it if the other games weren't played.
Yeah, we talked about that need for adaptability as we see a travel there by Balagoon. Ball going to Eastern Kentucky. But you have to be, it's just strange times right now. You see the benches are all 6 feet apart. None of this sitting right next to one another.
Yep.
They've got them all spaced out with their own personal Gatorade containers underneath.
Here's a dribble drive by Balagoon and a nice dish off as well. And that is Olivia Cochran. You mentioned the McDonald's All-American out at Columbus, Georgia.
Yeah, nice drive. Nice job by Cochran to running the floor, getting herself available. And then here she is coming up with a steal and finding teammate Van Leaf, also a freshman.
And a good defensive play by Wingler. She got a piece of it because she had to really hustle down the floor to keep the Cardinals from scoring. Give that young player, the freshman out of Brandenburg, a little tip of the cap there. Some good play defensively.
Well, in talking with Samantha Williams, that's the area that she really wants to see much more improvement on her young team is defensively. You've got to get ready for the college level of intensity. But it was all about offense right there as Bria Bass hitting the 3-pointer. She was the second leading scorer and second leading rebounder last year for Eastern Kentucky.
Balagoon took the shot. She knew it wasn't going to go. Tried to follow it up. And then the Cardinals get it right back on the steal. And Balagoon didn't get back on court, so she got a bunny at the other end.
Nice job by Evans. Heads up play. Literally had those eyes up and saw Balagoon down the floor for the easy 2.
Eastern Kentucky on the attack. That's Evans on the dribble drive. And a freshman out of Griffin, Georgia, Spalding High School. gets the basket, 5-5, guard and forward, and we have a 2-point game.
Yeah, nice drive by Corianna Evans.
Shot off the right wing by Evans doesn't go, but Louisville keeps the possession.
Yeah, Robinson, she's that hustle player, does a lot of the little things well for Louisville.
Speaking of hustle underneath, how about Cochran getting it done?
Well, Cochran led the Cardinals with 17 points and 8 rebounds against Southeast Missouri State, and you're seeing why she gets involved early.
Yep. There's a dribble drive and a foul called. That's going to be on Cochran. Olivia picks up the personal.
And that's one of the things that young post players have got to learn. They've got to learn how to play defense well without using their hands and getting themselves into foul trouble.
Some new Cardinals out on the floor. Dixon's out there along with Kono, who missed a lot of the season last year after an injury, after making an immediate impact. There's a good look at Recanati, yep.
One of the 3 players from Italy on this Eastern Kentucky roster.
Bergamo, I would assume, Italy, not being from there, but we were talking about that, Sarah. We've seen it in men's basketball and women's basketball. The international flair is really beginning to take its effect on the game here.
Well, it has become a world game.
And
there's such competition for American recruits. And a lot has been opened up internationally as we see an international player here.
Yep.
With Kono from Japan headed to the free throw line.
What a great story. Last year, of course, Jeff found her. I guess she almost found Jeff. And she came over here, didn't know how to communicate very much, but became a real fan favorite. And the whole team just loves her. And the coaching staff as well, except if she misses practice just a little bit, maybe.
Well, the thing I love about Marika Kono is just how steady and calm she is out on the floor. She has a real mature presence about her. Good knowledge of the game. I mentioned she missed 14 games last year at the end of the season due to a knee injury. Glad to see her back on the court.
Eastern Kentucky trying to work. Those freshmen are going to see you can't put the ball right out in front of a veteran. They'll knock it away. Of course, they learn as they go. There's you look at Wingler. Sports management major.
Well, I do like how aggressive offensively and defensively the Colonels are this afternoon.
Evans can't get this one to go.
Good hustle play there by Wingler.
Got a timeout here in the Yum Center. It's 11-7. The Carter for number 5, Louisville, leading 11-7. Well, Louisville has been good over the years, the university playing what were then called regional universities, and I think it's really a tribute. We talk about the series. 27 times they've played. Louisville, of course, won back in 2012. But I think it's good when the regional universities in the past, now all state schools, get to play each other. Jeff's been into that, hasn't he?
Absolutely. I mean, you've got the connection there with Samantha Williams, 8 years assistant coach at UofL. These two teams had not met for those 8 years. Samantha was in her first year as an assistant for the Cardinals the last time these two teams met.
Recanati had a little trouble in going in the traffic, but I tell you, you're right, Sarah. Eastern's playing good defense. Look at this break. How about that? That's some coaching that's been done since that loss to Eastern Kentucky, or excuse me, to Indiana the other day.
Yeah, the Colonels suffered a 151-point loss at number 15 IU, and you can tell they took a lot away from that. Yeah. They really struggled against the Hoosiers in the first and third quarters, and they've come out strong here, though, as Louisville with long-range Dana Evans connecting.
And that's her first make in 4 tries. And now that full court pressure, and Sam knew right away she's going to have to take off with a timeout. 14-9 Louisville. Glad you joined us today from
another gift. Gifts keep coming at you everywhere.
This is 5G from America's most reliable network.
14-9, Louisville leading Eastern Kentucky with 3:45 remaining in the first quarter. Jeff Walls had a great team last year, as did so many other clubs, and the way everything ended back in March, thanks to COVID-19. Now you see Eastern Kentucky in the Ohio Valley Conference. That's with the Colonels. But I think they made a great hire, Sam, don't you?
No question. I mean, we talked about an improvement. That 11-18 record was a 9-win improvement from the year before. So Coach Williams making a big impact in her first year, and she's looking to lead them to even greater things in 2021.
Out of Louisville Manual High School, played for, I guess, Joe Champy at Auburn during that period. And a very accomplished player. Also was an assistant coach at Duke prior to Louisville. So she was quite a player. You play for Auburn, you are quite a player, especially in those days.
Yeah, it was some really strong Auburn teams. In fact, when I was coaching at Louisville, we played against Samantha Williams' Auburn team at Auburn, suffered a loss. And
you and a lot of other people.
Yeah.
They actually were outdrawing more for women's basketball than men back then. I remember people would fight for the tickets. Had some great coaches throughout that SEC and the ACC here now, too. There's Kono getting some playing time, and that was one of the great off-the-court stories, wasn't it? Now, a young lady like that was able to reach out and changed her life forever. And Clara Rosini at the line, a 5'10" freshman. She's one of those Italian players.
From Trieste.
Yeah. Lefty puts it up, nothing but the bottom of the sack. It's kind of nice to see some fans around the KFC Yum Center. Of course, with all the work that was done, and well done. 1 out of 2 at the line. It's a 4-point Cardinal lead. Still going to work against that zone. It's pretty much the set defense. This one off the wing. That is Nadia Green. There's another freshman. This one also a McDonald's All-American.
There are a lot of them on this Louisville Cardinal roster.
Louisville extending that defense. This is Zabuki on the dribble drive. Couldn't get the shot to go. Kennedy Azabuki on the floor. Good hustle on that missed shot. As Casa Robinson on the floor. We loved to watch her last year. She was a real contributor.
We see a turnover there with the travel, but early on, what I'm liking about the Cardinals, Don, is good ball movement. You see very unselfish play, and you can see the similarity in styles between Samantha Williams
Can't you?
and Jeff Walls. They both like to press.
Good block there. How about that by Smith? And she brings it up across the floor.
Well, the Cardinals had 10 blocked shots in the game against Southeast Missouri State.
Evans, the leading point getter for EKU with 4. Cochran with 4 for Louisville. There's Samantha. It's hard to call her Samantha when we all call her Sam. But she was just a real pleasure for us to be around. She was, like I said, all the coaches, but a real key part of that staff, mainly in recruiting too, right?
Oh, absolutely. A tremendous recruiter. And she was, as you mentioned, an integral part of the staff at Duke and the tremendous success they had, and then had a great run here at Louisville in her hometown as we see the steal and the lay-in.
Steele made a steal and got her first 2 points. She's from South Laurel High School in London, Kentucky. A lot of Kentucky players on the EKU roster. And women's basketball, of course, is great in Kentucky. Numbers, but they play great basketball, and that'll be a good opportunity for Sam there. Oh, an easy miss. Twice.
Robinson, that was just such a great heads-up play for her to come weak side and get that offensive board. Just left the lay-in a little short. And Eastern Kentucky will be on the attack offensively.
As Ibuki got nothing but glass, knocked out of bounds. It's going to stay with EKU. Eastern's hit 4 out of 12 from the floor. Louisville 5 of 16 at 38%. Threw it in a lot of traffic there, and pretty lucky to keep that possession.
Yeah, that's one of those passes you have to deliver absolutely perfectly. And then the offensive player doesn't really have anywhere to go, as it was pretty tight defensively by the Cardinals along that baseline.
Had to throw it outside, and a good job by Evans to go out and get it. That is the EKU Evans. We have 2 today, 1 on each side.
Steele left it a little short. She was a leading scorer for the Colonels in the loss at Indiana.
A lot of upside for her.
Yeah, I like her game.
Winding down the final seconds of the first quarter. Cardinals going to have to let it go, and do. And the first quarter comes to an end. ACC women's team right next to him, and there, look who he picked.
Well, I love that we've got Jasmine Jones, Kylie Shook, Yacine Diop back in the Yum Center. Unfortunately, they're in fathead cutouts, not on the court.
Well, we talked about Dana. She has just been so special. And again, we've seen her growth since her first year at Louisville.
No questions. She was a tremendous player in high school. And as we mentioned, she's the first player in ACC history to go from 6th player of the year to player of the year. And she's the preseason player of the year for this season, and well-deserved. All around great player, such a floor general, and it's been fun to watch her mature. She's one of those scoring point guards who knows the game so well, gets her team into the proper positions, but is also a tremendous offensive and defensive threat.
Well, Louisville's worked against this zone the entire game, and Jeff Walls getting a lot of players out on the floor for this. There's one from the perimeter. Balagoon, a junior out of Chattanooga, nails a 3. That's where she comes into play, too.
Yeah, tremendous threat, and once again, great ball movement. But we see Eastern Kentucky there, a little bit of a off-the-mark three-point attempt, but this has been a much closer game than I think a lot of people would have expected, and that's because Samantha Williams knows the system of the Louisville Cardinals. She knows these players, and she's got her team extremely well prepared. And
a good job going to the line, as right on cue she shows what she does so well. A chance now to add another one. It's charity stripe.
Well, the thing about Dana Williams, when she has the ball in her hands in transition, she is thinking attack the basket first. And if she doesn't get stopped, she's going to go straight to the rim. If she does, most likely she's going to make a great pass out. We saw early in the game, she got stopped right next to the basket, but found Haley Van Leeth for the 3 for the first 3 points of the game. She just has such wonderful court awareness.
And Dana leads all scorers right now with 6. And a great steal as Cochran put her hand out there and created that turnover.
Yeah, nice job, active defense by the 6'3" freshman from Columbus, Georgia. Go ahead.
EKU's been in the zone the entire game.
Yeah, they've played this 2-3 zone, and, they've had to go out and extend as Van Leeth knocks down another three-pointer. The Colonels weren't hurt early on by the
Russell and our ACC Network Extra crew. And speaking of the ACC coaches poll, how about the top 8 for this year? Look who's at the top, and that's a team that's been there the last year or so, too.
Not surprising, Louisville 3 straight regular season ACC titles. Wes Moore's done a tremendous job at NC State, and then Syracuse continues to be strong. So a lot of great teams. Probably the most surprising thing is to see Notre Dame at number 6, but they struggled last season. And Muffet McGraw retired. Neil Ivey taking over as head coach there.
Well, things still headed in the upward direction for Coach Jeff Walls and company. In the ACC, we've had a chance now, Sarah, for the last several years to see it, the competitiveness from top to bottom. And I don't think it'll be any different this year. Evans off the glass.
Yeah, that was a pretty shot. She hung in the air, pump fake, and did about a 360 with the arm movement before finishing off that shot. Dana Evans just so talented, so tough to stop.
I think she's made her last 3 shots after missing her first 3. And she leads all scorers in the game with 8.
Balogun coming down with the rebound and taking it herself, gets it inside to Cochran.
Wasn't that a nice balance to look inside like that and find? That's what I think that they like in Cochran. She's so versatile. I guess you have to be if you're a McDonald's All-American. Bass checks back into the lineup. Maria Bass out of Tucker, Georgia. She actually has been there a couple of years. She had a career-high 25 points against my alma mater, Morehead State, back in 2018.
Well, what I like about Cochran is she does a nice job of establishing herself really wide in the paint, calling for the ball, and she also has the versatility. You know, she's above the block, creating some space for herself.
I know she was really highly recruited. Great rebound by Balogun. Couldn't get the follow. Another try. Well, after several pretty good opportunities, and then how many times do you see that foul, that frustration foul after a foul like that? A mistake, and she picks up the personal foul.
Yeah, the Cardinals doing a nice job on the offensive boards, just not able to get any of those shots to go down.
Only had 3 total fouls in the game. That's going to be a traveling violation.
Corey Canati was not quite sure what she did. It looked to me like she drug her pivot foot, but that's legal in European basketball, just about.
You get a little extra step, don't you?
Yeah.
EKU, Evans over that zone again, rimmed it. Nice hustle there by Haley Van Leith.
Van Leith had 8 rebounds against Southeast Missouri.
Going to be an out of bounds to EKU. And why don't we tip our cap to Kylie Shook and Jasmine Jones? Both ended up with New York Liberty.
Yeah, what tremendous careers
First round
they had for the Cardinals.
Yep, and Asia Dure, of course, in the WNBA in the first round, had some injury problems, but I got to see Kylie and Jasmine play for the Liberty, and they were great. That's a credit back to Jeff Walls. That's probably the best half-court possession of the game by EKU.
Yeah, great floor spacing, nice unselfish play, and then the Colonels come down with another rebound. Engler not able to connect, and then I believe that was Green coming down.
Well, as we mentioned earlier, there's a nice feed inside, and that's too easy. But Eastern Kentucky, of course, opened up at Bloomington and lost by 51. It's not easy to come back from that, but even though now Louisville's stretching the lead, you can tell the Colonels are doing things much differently. And when you have, I think we talked before the game, before we went on the air, that about half or more of the starters were all freshmen.
7 newcomers for Samantha Williams in Eastern Kentucky. And the thing, one of the major differences between these two teams is just the amount of depth.
Yep.
And we've seen how many players Jeff Walls has been able to run in and out of this game, as we see Dana Evans on the attack and the finish with 2 fast break points for the senior point guard. But Eastern Kentucky just does not have the luxury of that kind of depth, not to mention they're incredibly young.
Nice steal by Balogun, and she takes it all the way.
And Balogun is such a versatile player.
7 points and 4 rebounds for her.
She's had a great first half.
You see Evans' numbers down at the bottom, the steals included for her. As my partner mentioned, she got off to a little tight start with the home opener, and I don't think she's missed a shot since. Here's a good look at Dane. As you mentioned, at Gary, Indiana, she was everything, wasn't she?
Yeah, she was all around great player. She was the kind of point guard who scored over 30 points both junior, senior year, but rebounded the ball, dished out the assists, had some gaudy numbers when it came to steals. And she has just continued to excel. She had the role off the bench for 2 years for the Cardinals, and then last year as a junior entered the starting lineup.
A couple of freebies there by EKU, and just a delightful individual too. Always would get to the games early and talk to her, and she was just great in interacting with the people, and that's what Jeff Walls has done so well with everyone on that roster.
Lana Smith getting her own miss.
Yep.
Louisville with another opportunity as they get the ball inside. Dixon not able to finish, though.
There'll be a rebound foul on Louisville. It's going to be on Russell. Believe it or not, in 48 years, I don't know that I've ever called the name Russell other than my own.
Well, Marissa,
I don't know what that means.
Marissa Russell, she's a talented one. She's from Ottawa, Canada, and has been a member of the Canadian senior national team. Has gotten great international experience.
There you see good offensive possession. Doesn't get the basket to go, but you can certainly see that EKU is doing things with a complete purpose. Great ball movement there by Louisville. It doesn't go. Look at the hustle for the loose ball. Going to be out of bounds to Eastern with 4:02 to go in the second quarter.
I do like the level of confidence that Eastern Kentucky is playing with. They're not able to match up talent-wise right now with the Cardinals, but they are executing the ball on both ends of the floor very well.
Yeah, that's the thing. You can't make the ball go in the basket, but you can do things with a purpose. There's a good dribble drive. Good rebound offensively. As Abuki had a couple of tries there for the Colonels.
And it's been tough for both teams in the paint.
Yep. That's a three by Balagoon straight away. That's what she brings to the table, inside and outside play.
Balagoon 0 for 3 from the field in the opener.
4 for 7 today and 10 points. Here comes Louisville again. And Leith all the way in with the left hand to put it in. And the Cardinals really spreading it out now, but Louisville's just doing a good job running the break once they've been able to get the missed shots. Is that how you see it, Sarah?
Absolutely. That is, and that's the hallmark of the Cardinals basketball program under Jeff Walls is, we want to try to score the easy points. Let's get the ball out in front of the defense as much as possible in transition. Let's be in attack mode. We want to try to score quickly. You don't allow the defense time to set up. It's much easier to score in those kind of scenarios.
Jeff Walls' 14th year winningest coach in Louisville history. There you see the particulars on Wingler as a freshman at the free throw line. There's Jeff. 11 NCAA appearances, 3 straight ACC regular season titles, 2 championship appearances. And you know that Sam was so excited to get the job. And Jeff was a big factor in helping her get it too. If Jeff Walls called me about one of his assistants, I would certainly take the call.
Absolutely. He knows how to build a program.
Yes, he does. Up kind of high on that pass. And for those of you that don't know, Sarah and I go back a way. Sarah was a former head coach here for the Louisville Cardinals. And just to see what has grown over the years with the support of the university and the community, it's just great to be a part around it and be around it at all. Great passing there by EKU.
Yeah, nice dish
Another
off.
good half-court play.
Good job by the Colonels in transition and finding post player underneath.
Another 3-ball over the defense of the Colonels. A little bit strong and out of bounds. Looked like there was a rebound foul. That's going to be on Evans.
Yeah, we saw that last basket by the Colonels by Emma Hacker, the 6'3" sophomore forward. You know, Eastern Kentucky's starting lineup did not have a single player listed at 6 foot. Everybody was 5'11" or below. And that's, I think, a sense of the style of Coach Williams. She wants to play fast. She wants to shoot the three. She wants good, strong defense. She wants to cause some havoc. And, you know, you don't necessarily have to have size to do that.
Well, she'll do a great job there. I have no doubt about it. The pedigree and the work ethic that she has displayed. And we're all pulling for her. Robinson got a good look, missed it. Follow up, no. Louisville's had so many second chance opportunities here in the first half, particularly in the second quarter.
Well, Russell has done a nice job on the offensive boards. Like we've talked about, it's been tough inside to get anything to go. But once again, Louisville on offense, getting the ball up quickly.
How about that rebound? Going to be a second try, and it goes.
Elizabeth Dixon coming up with a big offensive board and finish. Great job by the 6'4" post player to stay with it. Stay with the play.
She's waited quite a while to play and made a contribution out of Memphis. Going to be a whistle prior to any shot. Green picks up the personal out of Allen, Texas. And going to the free throw line is
Green, another McDonald's All-American for the Cardinals.
Yep.
Let's see. Richa
Carter. That was the one I would have never gotten. It looks like Alice, right?
Yes.
We've had some pronunciations to chase down over the years, and it helps us out as much as possible. 1:17 to go in the second quarter. Louisville leads it by 20, along with Sarah White and our crew. I'm Don Russell. ACC Extra on the ACC Network today. Number 5, Louisville taking on the Colonels of Eastern Kentucky. And that's going to be an offensive foul. Stood in there and took the charge, and that'll get some points with Sam.
Alana Smith just a little bit too aggressive along the baseline. Nice defensive job by Eastern Kentucky. We talked about Smith out of Gulf Coast State, was the National Junior College Player of the Year for the NJCAA.
A deflection out of bounds. Yes, her hometown is Charlotte, North Carolina, but she was sought by everybody. You know, you talk about junior college players, but it's changed so much over the years, but she'll be making an immediate contribution for sure.
And I do like how hard the Cardinals are working on the defensive end.
Good dribble drive and using the left hand. Rosini, that was a nice play by the Colonels. Shielded it with that left hand to get the basket.
We have seen the Colonels in attack mode. They are looking to get to the rim as often as possible, both in transition offense and in their half-court sets.
And they're working real hard with that zone, too. Louisville passing it around it very well. There's a dribble drive, tough shot. And I think we got a blocking call here. But you stay in that zone and you penetrate it, that puts you the opponent. That's what you want to do, right, Sarah?
Yeah, in that zone, Eastern Kentucky has got to be sure to get out and cover three-point shooters, but they want to try to pack the paint to not allow any of those dribble drives or block shots from the block. But that time Smith able to find a way into the paint, and a really smart play by Alana Smith, because she realized that she was going to draw contact, and so she got a shot up to get herself to the free throw line.
8.8 seconds remaining here in the second quarter. And this freebie as well goes through. 43-24. Colonels will get the final shot here in the second quarter. Gonna have to get it off. It will count. It looks like, yes, 43.
Environment that they're in, and you know, Jeff Walls in his 14th year at Louisville just can't speak enough about the success that he has led his team to on the court. But for him, it's bigger than basketball. It's about developing these young ladies and helping prepare them for the rest of their lives.
A little trapping out of the zone to begin with. Did you see there, Sarah?
Yes, mixing it up a little bit out of the locker room. Still in that 2-3 zone, but attacked on the first pass. But Louisville not too affected as we say. Alana Smith knocking down that three.
And, you know, we had her maybe as a possible starter. So she really is a contributor and will be in so many ways. Nice block out of bounds. That time by Van Leef.
Yeah, Wingler trying to take it to the hoop, but nice defense by the freshman Van Leef.
I don't know if I ever remember a Cardinal player coming from the state of Washington. That's a pretty good long way. But she was highly recruited, and I think Coach Walls knew from the beginning last year. He had some early commitments, but she's something pretty special now.
Absolutely. Number 2 recruit in one recruiting poll, and a number 7 in ESPN Hoop Girls. You know, Jeff Walls and his staff do an incredible job on the recruiting trails, but it doesn't stop there. The development that you see from these players who are willing to put the work in is equally as impressive as Balagoon with the block there and tried to get it up court, but nice defense by the Colonels. The 3 EKU players were back to tip that ball away. We'll see what the Cardinals have. Their out-of-bounds play underneath the basket.
How would you like to recruit with Zoom? Think that's a little different? That's the big, just think how they've been able to have to. Recruiting continues. No face-to-face.
Yeah, it definitely makes a difference.
Good ball movement there by Louisville, getting the even closer shot. As Olivia Cochran gets to 2. Cochran now with 9 points in the game.
Cochran plays with such composure. You don't see her rush. Man, she's got a bright future ahead of her.
You know, going back to the unknowns, coaches never want unknowns. They want everything, right? They don't handle unknowns very well. And everybody's had to adapt. You know that.
Absolutely. And that's one of the things that Samantha Williams and I spoke about yesterday was, you know, her trying to instill the importance of being flexible, being adaptable, as we see a nice play inside. Good ball movement and finish for the Colonels.
Yep, they really have improved since the very beginning of the game. But as you mentioned, and we talked during one of the breaks, almost have to play the zone. Maybe match up on because of the size difference.
Correct. We talked about how small the starting lineup for Eastern Kentucky is.
Cochran again.
Yeah, she's showing her versatility.
She's hit every shot, 5 out of 5, missed 1 of 2 free throws.
She was 90% from the free throw line against Southeast Missouri.
But old Simo came into play again.
Brianna Evans not able to finish. She'd made that nice baseline move on the opposite side of the floor, but leaves it a little bit short. And then Evans always in attack mode.
Well, she was the 2020 WBCA All-American. I could probably read on and on as we talked about ACC Player of the Year after being the 6th Player of the Year. You know what that tells me? She didn't mind coming off the bench.
No, she did
really
not.
Challenged herself with it.
She brought energy when she came off the bench. It gave her an opportunity to see how the game was being played, to scout her opponents for a few moments before taking the court. She is a player who gives total effort when she's on the floor on both ends. Defensively, she's just so difficult to play against because she's looking for that steal. She's looking to apply pressure. And she does the same thing on the offensive end, except from a distribution and scoring standpoint.
One of the best decorated Cardinal players, and when she came here, she had a lot to learn, and boy, did she accept it. Pull-away jumper here. Didn't get the good bounce, but a good offensive set that time as Wingler didn't get the fortuitous bounce. So it's 51-28, 7:07 to go in the third as Jeff Walls. He hadn't had a razor either for a while.
He likes that 5 o'clock shadow.
Yes, he does.
Look, and I know it's got to be a challenge for him wearing that mask during games because he likes to communicate
yes.
to his players.
That might be an offensive foul here. Yep, they're going to take it that way.
Nice defensive effort by the Colonels.
Yeah, Balogun gets the foul.
You know, defense so much is about anticipating and being in the proper position, and that time an outstanding job of being in the right place to take the charge.
Rick Canati again was the one that picked up that charge for EKU and has the ball right now, and that's going to be a travel. It has to be frustrating when you try to get it down on the baseline in the post and you turn around and you see two much taller players, and EKU's kind of faced that. But you can see, and you especially as a former coach, they're running their stuff, I guess is the best way to say it.
They are. They're doing a nice job of running their sets. They're following the game plan. Corianna Evans has been a featured player in this half. I have to assume that Coach Williams and her staff said we need to try to get some easy points inside. Let's look to feed Evans. But that last time by the Louisville Cardinals, great defense. It was a double team on Evans. So you're seeing each coach make adjustments and then counter adjustments.
Just above the free throw line. Evans can't get that one. That is the Colonel Evans. Now the Cardinal Evans has it blocked out of bounds on a nice defensive play by her opposite number, Evans.
And then a block by Evans,
yep.
Corianna Evans. Yeah, nice job defensively that time by the 5'11 freshman for EKU.
Dana Evans with 11, Van Leith with 11, Cochran with 11 to lead Louisville.
Van Leith was open along the baseline. Her teammates didn't find her, but Dana Evans finding her own shot. Unable to get it to go, but we saw Olivia Cochran in there to clean things up.
Van Leith has 6 rebounds, too.
Yeah, she is a rebounding guard. I love that about her. She is willing to get in there and mix it up. Looking at the stats, Dana Evans now with 7 assists. And Cochran with 4 rebounds. She and Haley Van Leith led the team in the game season opener with 8 rebounds apiece.
She makes the free throw. Now she's hit 2 out of 3. And as I mentioned earlier, of course, she's been inside the paint, has hit all 5 of her field goal attempts. And is going to get a little break as she goes to the bench, gets a little elbow bump from the coach.
Well-deserved break. And the Cardinals with 3 players in double figures, including Cochran with the team high 13, excuse me. And then Van Leith and Dana Evans both with 11.
56-28 Cardinals coming out and stretching on that defense against EKU in the maroon. Going to be a turnover here on the, no, I guess it was tipped. Shot clock has to be down to 5. It is going to have to launch, and it doesn't go. But look at that great rebound. Back up and underneath. Great effort that time by Riccati. But
yeah, the thing I love about the Colonels right now is you wouldn't know that they were down by 26 points.
No.
They are playing just as hard as if this game just started. Canati coming up with a defensive rebound.
And threw it, tried to get it past 2 Cardinals, and that didn't work out very well.
And that looked like that might have been one of those passes that were made by a tired player.
Yeah, you're right.
You know, she tried to force that pass. She's made good decisions in the ball game up to that point.
There's a 3 ball on the way. Good job by EKU as Steele gets it down, the South Laurel High School native.
Yeah, Steele saw she had enough daylight, made the Cardinals play. Hey, and then Dana Evans on the other end.
Say, I'm here. 14 for the Cardinal Evans.
Long range 3 by Dana Evans. Cardinals in that man-to-man.
Yep. Now the shot's beginning to fall. You know, we have to remember that a lot of these first-year players, this is just their second collegiate game ever. Evans again. This one too strong. And a flat-footed rebound by the Colonels this time. 59-36 Louisville. Home opener for Jeff Walls and company. Good ball movement again. This one comes up woefully short. And you can tell EKU is just tired.
Yeah, Hacker hit that last 3, but didn't draw iron on that shot right there. And Louisville moving the ball nicely. Opens up Dana Evans for another 3, but Haley Van Leeth with the rebound.
And almost got it to go. Boy, she really goes to the board, doesn't she? Got a timeout on the floor. The Cardinals are cooking, leading over the Colonels of Eastern Kentucky here at the
Packer and Durham. Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic, guys. How are you guys doing?
There are so many things that we want to address with you.
Minute by minute, hour by hour.
Defensive lines that would eat your lunch.
You could take your ulcerative colitis treatment in a different direction. Talk to your doctor about Xeljanz, a pill, not an injection or infusion, for adults with moderate to severe ulcerative colitis when a certain medicine did not help enough. Xeljanz is the first and only FDA-approved pill for moderate to severe UC. It can reduce symptoms in as early as 2 weeks, improve the appearance of the intestinal lining, and provide lasting steroid-free remission. Xeljanz can lower your ability to fight infections. Before and during treatment, your doctor should check for infections like TB and do blood tests. Tell your doctor if you've had hepatitis B or C, have flu-like symptoms, or are prone to infections. Serious, sometimes fatal infections, cancers, including lymphoma, and blood clots have happened. Taking a higher than recommended dose of Xeljanz for RA may increase risk of death. Tears in the stomach or intestines and serious allergic reactions have happened. You could take your UC treatment in a different direction. Ask your gastroenterologist about Xeljanz.
She's doing it again.
No cover-up spray here. It's the irresistibly fresh scent of Febreze Air Effects. Cheaper aerosols can cover up odors, bearing the smell in a flowery fog. Switch to Febreze Air Effects. Febreze eliminates even the toughest odors from the air, and it uses a 100% natural propellant to leave behind a pleasant scent you'll love. Use anywhere odors can spread. Freshen up. Don't cover up. Febreze Air Effects.
Hey, it's me, your dry skin. I'm craving something we're missing. The ceramides in CeraVe. They help restore my natural barrier so I can lock in moisture. We've got to have each other's backs.
CeraVe, now the #1 dermatologist recommended skincare brand.
So kids, what do you want for lunch?
I want pizza. I want tacos. Pizza. Tacos. Pizza.
What about Subway? It's a good call and everyone loves it.
We raised our kids on it.
So it stopped the bickering?
Chicken bacon ranch.
Chicken bacon ranch.
Mom, JJ's copying me.
No, not at all.
Mom, JJ's copying me.
Grow up.
Mom! Knock it off!
Good food that's good for you, well, good for you. Now, only in the Subway app, get a free footlong when you buy 2, because it's footlong season.
Welcome back. You see the Cardinals with a lead, and Olivia Cochran, one of the reasons you see what she's done today, Sarah, and of course she's the McDonald's All-American. Does a lot of things, doesn't she?
Very special player, is not playing like a freshman, is doing a nice job defensively, but it's the offense that we're looking at here. She's a perfect 5 of 5 from the field for those 13 points, and she's got 4 rebounds to go along with it. I really like this young lady.
Matter of fact, in the opener against SEMO, the top 2 scorers were freshmen, and it's been since 2016 with the opening game you had 2 freshmen on the Cardinal team lead them in scoring.
Those are pretty decent freshmen in
Yes,
Raisha
they are.
Hines Allen and
Yeah.
Mariah Moore.
They did okay.
Absolutely.
And 68-39. Number 5 Louisville trying to get off to a 2-0 start. As Jeff Walls and company taking on Eastern Kentucky. The Colonels now coached by Samantha Williams, a former assistant coach for 8 years for Jeff Walls. So Jeff does that quite a bit. And of course, the schedule coming up for EKU. They take on Morehead State within a few days of each other. Again, all of the schedules have been pretty much thrown out the window. But that's where we stand right now, and a pretty good thing going on. But again, it's pretty much day to day, Sarah. And as a former coach, that's the only way you can play it.
Absolutely, it's to be determined. This is the game plan, but it could change at any time. Both of these teams have seen some schedule adjustments. Cincinnati had to cancel its early games, as did Bellarmine.
Good steal by the Cardinals, and of course, you can see the OVC games are taking place much earlier and closer together. There's a dribble drive. The roll doesn't go this time for Cochran.
Well, it makes the scout for Morehead State really easy for whichever coach has that, right? You got knocked two. You do the first one, the second one's done.
Yeah, that's true. I was telling Sarah before the game they are big rivals, Morehead State and EKU, as is Murray and Western. Even though they're in different leagues now, they were all together at once in the OVC, 4 Kentucky schools, 4 Tennessee schools. And then television changed it all, but we're glad it did, by the way. There's a good look at Sam. She has that pensive look, but you know she has that mind rolling, doesn't she?
Absolutely. Always trying to figure out the adjustments that need to be made, personnel changes. You know, she's going to coach all 40 minutes of this ball game and then take game film and break it down and see how she can improve her squad for the next time out.
You told me that Manual team she played on was pretty good.
Yeah, that was back in an era. Manual Girls High School was extremely talented.
And you've got a scholarship to Auburn back in those days. I was one of the first guys to call the SEC in every one of those programs. The ACC and the Big Ten and the SEC. Those were the ones. And it's still pretty much the case. Nice steal by Smith, and she'll take it in for the score.
Nice job by Smith taking it coast to coast.
75-42 Cardinals. Smith has 6 points. Also 3 turnovers and a block. And that's going to be a foul on the floor on Louisville.
Romani Parker's going to get credit for that foul as she got a little bit out of position, wasn't able to cut off the paint like she wanted to, but it's a foul on the floor, so Eastern Kentucky will take the ball out of bounds underneath the basket.
And they get it. Quick shot goes, and a 3-point opportunity. Kendall Wingler, the 5'10 freshman guard from Brandenburg, Kentucky, has a chance at that 3-point play. I like the way she has played today, and you can see the intensity on her face.
Well, Wingler knows how to score. She last year was the state's leading scorer, averaging 30.8 points per game. She also pulled down 6.5 rebounds to go along with it.
Extending full court here with a 3-quarter court.
Yeah, we've seen the pressure after made free throws by Eastern Kentucky here in the second half of the ball game.
You know, the thing I like about Van Leith is not only can she score, she's always looking for the other player too. You could see that on that play. She had a shot. She looked as she saw anything better before she let it go.
And that's what you want, that unselfish players, folks who know how to score the ball, but are also looking to get teammates involved. What's the best shot, not just what's my shot.
She whipped that pass inside there. What a nice touch. As Smith knocks it down. The National Junior College Player of the Year out of Charlotte. Has 9 points.
See a little handoff around the perimeter. The nice thing about the smaller lineup for the Colonels is that all players are interchangeable.
Yeah, that's true.
They basically started a 5-guard lineup. So Cardinals come away with another steal. Smith dishes to Van Leith, who knocks it down.
Well, she can shoot. In addition to a lot of other things, she and Cochran both have done well. Van Leith now with 18 points, Cochran with 15.
She's leading scorer for the Cardinals. She's 5 of 8 from three-point range, following up her 13-point performance on Wednesday.
Going to be free throw action here. And this young lady was sought by everyone. Top freshman recruit on the ACC watch list. And she hadn't just playing in her second game. So I guess a lot of people have been watching that young lady. That she's fun to watch. Everybody told her that she can do so many things, and she pretty much showed that today.
She gets a well-deserved break. She picked up the foul on that last play, and I think it was probably a foul from fatigue. You see, she's wiping away the sweat. She's been playing hard, and she's out here on the court representing the Cardinals.
Well, these student athletes today, they train so hard, nutrition, everything that you can imagine. And you can tell, I think this team's going to have a pretty good chemistry, not only on the floor, but off the floor. You know how they've congratulated each other. They've really interacted, even though the benches are spread over about 10 yards.
Well, you saw that player coach right there, Makaza Robinson, giving Van Leith some pointers after coaching staff talked to her, sharing with the freshmen the things that she saw. The Cardinals extend the lead now, 84-47.
Evans gets the three ball to go with 6:25 remaining. Little back door there, and wide open on the layup is Kendall Wingler.
Nice job by Wingler, seeing that she had a path to the basket. Cardinals did not rotate and come over with their help side defense. I'm sure that's going to be pointed out in the next film session.
Balagoon got in traffic, out to Evans. Dana nails the three.
And you saw in the first half that the Colonels were not allowing very many of those open threes, and Dana Evans has gotten quite a few of them as she continues to spark.
Cardinals, and that's coming up, and that'll be fun. A team we haven't seen in a while, Sarah, and another one that will be a Cardinal opponent.
Yeah, hopefully that game stays good to go, ready to play. Everybody stays healthy. And
well, I'm going to be there whether it plays. No, not really. But we'll be there, and we hope they play it. And again, a big tip of the cap, as we always like to acknowledge the crew that really does all the hard work, and it's just fun for us to sit here and enjoy it and provide it to you at home. Great. Even better ball movement against the zone, but you can't do that against Balagoon. She blocks the shot and scores at the other end. Wow.
Talk again about her going coast to coast, that time with the block shot, taking it all the way to the rim. It's nice when you're 6'1" guard.
Yeah. She has 12 points, 7 rebounds, 3 assists.
Almost blocked another one.
Yep.
We saw, was that Evans that came in for the rebound cleanup? 2 points.
He did.
And speaking of hardworking, I heard from Nick Evans, a hardworking sports information director for University of Louisville. Our apologies, it's Van Lith. We've been mispronouncing it. I'll take blame for that. Our apologies to the Van Lith family. We'll make sure we get that right from here on out.
That's why Nick's around. Let us know.
He's one of the best. We appreciate his efforts.
And Mom and Dad will never get it wrong again. That's what things would happen when you have a little separation.
That's right. Can't go talk to the media relations folks these days to find out pronunciations. Louisville has done a tremendous job on the boards as we see Parker finishing on the inside. And that's really been a difference maker in the ball game this afternoon, as Eastern Kentucky has just not been able to hang with the Cardinals in rebounding.
That's for sure. 93-51 Cards. Timeout on the floor. It's all Louisville. Home opener for number 5 Louisville Cardinals under Jeff Walz in Eastern Kentucky.
6 newcomers on this Louisville roster, and it looks to be a situation where the Cardinals have reloaded. They're not rebuilding. They've got a lot of talent. And the nice thing about this game is that Coach Walz has been able to play a lot of players, get some valuable minutes.
Boy, a good block inside by Eastern. Evans got a piece of it. Well, I'll tell you one thing. I think Samantha Williams will be pleased with the effort when she sees this tape, especially considering what happened at IU, losing by 51. There's another good hustle play and a jump ball, or held ball, I should say, and it'll be out of bounds.
It was a competitive first half.
Yeah.
Their team has played hard. They continue to play strong defense and look to push the ball when they can. It's just, this is a very talented Louisville Cardinals team with a lot of depth.
Yep. Kono took some time to get it in.
You can definitely tell the size differential has been a bit of a challenge for Eastern Kentucky. A shot clock violation there.
Jeff says, whoop, I think you should know that.
Yeah, that's one of the things you've got to be aware of. How much time is not only left on the game clock, but on the shot clock. And it's got to be tough in as we see Eastern Kentucky knocking down the 3. Steal from long range. You know, it's got to be tough overall when you don't have the crowd noise to pump you up. Van Lith with the miss. But then you don't have, in this kind of, it's not a competitive game, and you don't have the crowd noise. But they're playing hard.
They are. Good follow-up that time after the miss by Russell. Van Lith has 18 for Louisville. Russell, by the way, with 4 and Green with 5. Everybody's getting in on the act. That went off the perimeter, a little bit shy.
Marie Canati comes up with the rebound. This young lady, the 5'9" freshman guard from Bergamo, Italy, I think has a big upside. I like her game a lot.
Yep. And I know that Sam knows a certain kind of players she wants to recruit, because you better be ready to work hard. Here's a steal by Louisville. Takes it all the way and can't get the finish to go, but the follow-up. Van Lith again gets the basket, and she has 20 now for Louisville.
And if not, and that is a double-double. That was her 10th rebound, so 20 points and 10 rebounds from the talented freshman.
Yep. Easy rebound by Louisville after the miss, under 2 minutes to go. 97-54. Van Lith whips it in the middle of Kono on the wing. Louisville's and both teams, what I like, are still doing things with a purpose. Regardless of the score, Van Lith can't miss, or gets the miss there. Can't get her own rebound. And Van Lith probably is done for the game. And her stat line, as you mentioned, Sarah, 20 points, 11 rebounds, the double-double, 7 of 13 from the floor, 5 of 9 from 3. That's a pretty good stat line.
She had a pretty solid afternoon.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
For a freshman, and you see her, look at her. You know, and Sarah, people, you know, you played at Wake Forest. It's such a huge jump from high school to college, isn't it?
It absolutely is. And the pace of the game, the physicality of the game, the focus that you have to have. And, you know, I was laughing with Coach Williams yesterday when she talked about the one area her team needed to improve the most was defensively. I said, that's what happens when you've got a lot of freshmen, right? You think you're playing defense in high school. You're not. You're not even close.
Kono runs it up with just over a minute remaining in the game. 97-54. And that's going to be a violation.
Travel, a little shuffle of the pivot foot there by Parker before she made her drive to the basket.
Parker, redshirt freshman out of Fresno, California.
She's had some solid minutes this afternoon.
Yes, she has. And a steal as one of the Colonels fell down, and now Kono leads the break, takes it up, and gets the basket.
So smooth. Nice hesitation move. Kind of stopped the defense momentarily, and that's all Kono needed to get all the way to the rim.
99-54 with 50 seconds remaining in the Cardinal home opener against the Colonels of Eastern Kentucky. There's another perimeter jumper. I tell you, the Colonels, I don't care what the scoreboard would say, they have made progress since that IU loss. Look at Louisville. I mean, the passing is so crisp with new players out on the floor.
And Steele knocked down the three and then comes up with the rebound, but good defense that time by Russell. She prevents the layup. Mara Steele was the leading scorer for Eastern Kentucky at IU with 13 points. She's got 11 this afternoon, 3 of 8 from 3. We're going to see Corianna Evans head to the free throw line.
5'5" freshman guard forward from Griffin, Georgia. And she's playing in only her second collegiate game. And knocks down the freebie.
Evans. Don Evans had 9 rebounds to lead Eastern Kentucky. She's been limited to just 2 this afternoon. But you saw coming out of the locker room in the third quarter, Eastern Kentucky really trying to get the ball inside to Evans.
She's going to get another try. There was a lane violation. She has 9 points, 2 rebounds, played 25 minutes. Freshman guard, and she can't make up for it after that miss, as we have 20 seconds and change remaining. 99-58. See if the Cardinals able to get 100 points.
Still showing a lot of composure, moving the basketball, unselfish play. Another offensive rebound.
Kono, good feed inside, and the Cardinals break the century mark at 101.
Elizabeth Dixon.
Yep. 101-58 as the Cardinals win it.